So playing D&D alone kind of sounds sad until you realize that you're God now. No rules, no players, just a goblin who keeps calling you mom. Well, welcome to solo roleplay, baby. So here's the deal. Maybe your party ghosted you, or maybe you're just tired of Greg always playing a sentient banana bard named Cheeto. Well, either way, you're wondering, can I run a TTRPG by myself? And yes, you can. And no, it's not weird. You're not weird. Okay, maybe a little. But solo TTRPGs are low-key cracked, and you're about to figure out why. Today we're going to be talking about what solo play is, why it slaps, and how to get started today. All right, we're also going to be talking about how to keep it fun without turning it into a spreadsheet like some kind of gremlin. And of course, we're going to be flipping through Mythic Magazine number 49 because they have a bunch of really good stuff in it. And if you want to pick up Mythic Magazine number 49 for yourself, you can use our link down in the description to DriveThruRPG to help support the show. So let's roll. Hello, I'm Turk, and welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Round here, we do all different kinds of TTRPG things. But today, my friends, we're diving into the chaotic joy of solo roleplay. So what is solo role-playing anyhow, right? It's playing a tabletop RPG with no group. I mean, it's self-explanatory, just you and some rules that replace the GM. And you're like, how can I replace the GM? That's insane. Who's going to run the story? How is it going to work? What's going to happen? Well, we're going to cover that a little bit. There's a lot of tools and a lot of ways for you to be able to play solo out there in the world. I'm even talking about my favorite, which is Mythic GME, which is the Game Master emulator. Now, I have a whole video on how to play that up on the video up here on the channel that you can check out, card on the video that you can click on to check all that stuff out if you want to learn straight away how the rules of that game system work. But solo role-playing isn't lonely. It's legendary. You're the player, you're the GM, you're the narrator, and you're also the town drunk, rolled all into one. So instead of someone else running the world, you roll on oracles, tables, and prompts that you interpret. This is still a game that we're playing, right? It's still a story, but you're playing both the actor and the director. You're going to take these prompts and interpret them in your own way to be able to move your story forward. It can be journaling, it can be talking aloud, using miniatures if you want to, spreadsheets, virtual tabletops, whatever. There's no single right way. It depends on how you want to play it, the way that you enjoy playing the most. And what I will say is there's some book that you want to play or some VTT you've always wanted to use, but you couldn't get your players to want to use it with you or spend the time to learn it. Well, you don't need them to learn it anymore because you could just do it by yourself and have fun while you're doing it. Okay, so why? Why go solo? AKA, we're talking about the power trip, all right? Here's why solo RPGs rule. You get full creative control. You can be the villain, you can be the sentient crown, you can switch protagonists mid-session, and no one is going to stop you. Have you ever wanted to GM a story, but your players kept doing something else and you never got to tell that awesome, amazing, dramatic story that you've always wanted to tell? Well, now you can. Also, number 2, there's no scheduling drama. You just sit down and play whenever you're ready to do it, right? There's no calendar Tetris or Google Calendar meetings. And also, you get to play at your own pace. You could do a 10-minute session. It's totally valid. You can do a 5-hour session. It's just a complete fever dream. Also, totally valid. And this is all about experimentation. So you get to try weird settings, genre mashups, emotional storylines, or even mechanical hacks and new things that you've always wanted to try. There are genres and games that I've always wanted to play, but couldn't get my players to want to play with me. And I've just been playing them myself. Lastly, this is hackable, all right? It's hackable as shit. You can mix oracles, you could swap out systems, you could Frankenstein the rules. Mythic and all of its cousins and even the magazines that we're covering today are modular by design. So you can try out different things and do different stuff with different systems as much as you really want to. There's no wrong way to do this. The rules are open and fun and free to play however you want. Some of them cost money. Some of them are free, like Ironsworn. Ironsworn is free. All right, so now we're talking about how does this actually work, my guy? You're basically going to set up a loop, right? You're going to set up a loop here. You're going to set up a scene. You're going to ask a question about what might happen next. E.g., does the chest explode when I open it? And then you're going to roll the dice and interpret the results. And that's pretty much the loop. You're going to use a yes or no oracle or big elaborate tables, right? Either way, you're using dice to surprise yourself and interpret what is happening next. Think of it like guided improv, kind of. Yeah, Yeah, you're the lead, the director, and the audience all in one, and the Mythic system is just there to keep things spicy. They're like helping you do what you want to do. And of course, I'm covering Mythic a lot in this video because it's my favorite, but there's loads of other ways to be able to play solo. Okay, we also got to cover surprises. Surprises are important. Not every answer is literal, all right? Sometimes no doesn't mean nothing happens. It means something else might happen, which is always good for you to interpret and keep moving forward. So you're going to ask, does the stranger run away? And you roll a no. So what do they do instead then? Maybe they confront you, maybe they vanish, or maybe they offer you some soup. That's totally up for you to interpret. You're going to let your gut tell you what fits. And also, all of these roles can fit in with your theme, whatever you're doing here. Is it a mystery? So maybe they're mysterious about whatever they're doing. I don't know. But scenes, all right, this is number 5. Scenes are the beating heart of solo play here, all right? Scenes are how you're going to structure your solo play. Think of each one like a TV episode or a dramatic beat or, even a scene in a TV episode, right? You get to decide what it's all about. You're going to make the scene. You're going to roll on the scene. You're going to ask questions. You're going to roll. You're going to interpret, all right? And you're going to end the scene when the action wraps or we change direction. You don't have to crawl minute by minute. You could jump time, switch locations. You can move things forward real fast. You can go cinematic. Solo here equals freedom. It's however you see things unfolding. Whenever I play, I literally visualize things happening like a television show, like a movie, like things are happening. And so I go, oh, well, what if this? What if that? And I roll on the dice. And of course, you can see me playing solo, all different kinds of systems right here on the Grouch Couch channel if you want to, or you can watch someone else play. That's totally cool. There's a lot of really good solo role players out there. But the main thing is, in your scenes, you're making it up, right? And what is a scene, right? There are a lot of other solo oracles out there that use scenes as a way to segment the action in a solo adventure. And this is a helpful strategy to make the experience manageable, right? Which is very important. For instance, with Mythic, a new scene provides an opportunity to find how the scene begins, what happens in it, and what happens at the end, right? Just like that. Simple and manageable. So, right out of the Mythic Magazine, whether you discover the magical mask of Orhuru because a person is reading an adventure tells it to you, or you discover it through an oracle's process of drawing it from your imagination, it doesn't matter. The end result is exactly the same. You discovered something new and perhaps unexpected. You're surprised. But here's the next thing here. Dead ends and stalling out, right? You're playing by yourself here, and sometimes that's going to happen. You're going to stall. You're not going to know where to go. You're not going to know what to do, right? So if you're stuck, throw something wild into the mix. You're like, I don't know what my character would do next. I don't know what's going on. Roll a random encounter, right? Have a dramatic revelation or time skip to the next bit of chaos. You're allowed to step outside of your PC and think like a game master here because you are. You can give the world a little bit push at any time, right? Never feel like you're stuck. The reason to be stuck is if you're stuck in your mind, which also brings me to another point. You can take a break, take a step back, go do something else. Come back the next day, right? Leave your book right there on the table and just leave, right? And then come back and be like, oh, okay, so what was going on? Maybe there's something you missed, right? Maybe there's something new that you thought about that whole day that you could add in. Could be great. Which I mean, it's literally right here in the book as well. Wow, that's handling dead ends. And look, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. So again, if you want to pick this up and read it yourself, you can, link in description. Okay, how do we get started? How do we get started without drowning in prep, all right? Which is also kind of a very important question here. You're going to do your best to avoid analysis paralysis. You don't need a full world map. You don't need 10 pages of lore, okay? And you don't need hundreds of custom random tables. You also don't need this book or that book or all of these hundreds and hundreds of books. But here's what you do need, the bare minimum. You need your character. You need the game system that you're going to play. You need a loose starting idea. And you need your dice and maybe a notebook or just your phone because you could take notes on your phone. If you do want to get super intense and do all this other stuff, I do have another video on the channel of how to solo roleplay the best, right? How to get it going, right? I do have another video. You check that out in the playlist. But for now, we're going to start small and add as we go, right? You could pick up this thing or that thing. You might see something cool that another role player was using and you could go, oh, I want to use that, all right? Solo role-playing is never meant to sit stagnant anyway. It's always meant to evolve. It's not meant to be perfect at your launch, but there's going to be role tables you're going to find over time and cool things that you're going to see and that you're going to roll on while you're playing. You're going to pick it up in a couple months' time and just add it into your game system. There's no reason why you have to have everything ready to go at the beginning, right? It's meant to evolve over time. And if you're all about checklists and other kinds of things like that, I do actually see that this Mythic Magazine includes a beautiful checklist that you could use, right? And you could pick up Mythic Magazine again. You can print out this checklist so you can write on it and do all the things that you want to do, right? It gives you a little cheat sheet to keep your sanity. Do I have a character? Do I have a way to ask questions? Do I know what kind of story I want? And do I have enough to begin? It has everything. And you don't have to check every single box on this, by the way, right? Just check the ones that matter to you. And the game will grow as you do, my friend. One of the most important parts of this whole thing, I know this whole video, I feel like it's kind of just been me ranting about solo RPGs. So I hope that you found something helpful or entertaining in this video at all. But one of the most important parts that I will leave you with here is to discover your style, right? Your style, not someone else's. I know if you watch another YouTuber, they're probably playing a certain way that you really enjoy, but if that's something you can't pull off, don't worry about it. Discover your style, what you find manageable and what you find fun and entertaining. Don't ever try to copy someone else. There's no standard. I truthfully find that I play solo RPGs way different than other people do, and that's okay, because some people relate to that, and I think that that's very cool. Some people are going to journal. Some people are going to talk out loud. Some people are going to draw maps. Some people are just going to roll and react. There's no exact way to play solo, right? Some people are going to follow the Mythic rules to a T. Some people are just going to use the Mythic Oracle, but you are going to find your rhythm. You might be a minimalist, right? You might like building spread. Either way, what you're doing is valid. This is a way for us to discover ourselves. This is about adventure, storytelling, self-discovery. That's what solo role-playing all about. So there's no wrong way to do it. No matter what you're doing, it is valid. And honestly, I would love to hear stories all about it, so do comment down below. Now look, Mythic Magazine right here, the one that we've just been casually flipping through today, has a bunch of roll charts and a lot of really cool stuff in it. So if you do want to pick it up, again, link down in the description. Mythic Magazine, they release a zine every month, and it's full of a lot of really cool stuff for us solo role players, and I cover them right here on the channel. So subscribe if you want to see more coverage on Mythic Magazine. That is, my friends, though, your crash course in solo role playing. Look, it's weird, it's wonderful, and it is all you. So give it a try, make it your own, and don't be afraid to let the dice take the wheel, right? Smash like right here if you learned something or found it entertaining in any way. All right, it lets me know that someone did enjoy the video. And you can, of course, subscribe for more TTRPG things right here on the Grouch Couch. And let me know in the comments, what would you play solo if no one else was watching? All right? That's what I'm talking about, friends. Make sure that you roll on that, weirdos, and take a seat on the couch and roll initiative just for a little while. Thanks for watching. I've been Turk. See you next time.